Todd here for MLB Trade Rumors. Today is Wednesday, February 26th. Let's get you caught up. We're just a few short months removed from the Yankees rotation looking like one of the best in baseball. Gerrit Cole jumping right on the top of a staff that already had James Paxton, Luis Severino, Masahiro Tanaka. You got J Happ in there, Jordan Montgomery. A lot of good, solid arms to work with, depth, upside, everything you'd want. Well, that is all up in smoke now, at least for the 2020 season. Paxton is sidelined for a big chunk of the year, and now the news emerging yesterday that Severino is going to require Tommy John surgery. He missed almost all of last year. His extension, which looked like a bargain at the time, now almost beginning to look like a bust. The Yankees are going to have to hope that he's able to get back in gear in time for most of the 2021 season, but he's not going to contribute at all this coming year. Now here's the thing. This is not the worst case scenario. That might be losing, I don't even want to say it for fear of jinxing this team. After all the injuries they went through last year, this is not what you wanted. But it did take away what was probably the Yankees' best case scenario, which was Cole and Severino being co-aces on that staff. Now, even without Severino, you're still looking at a team that could be a 100-win outfit. I mean, this is a very, very talented ball club. And let's not forget, ouch, Red Sox fans, Mookie Betts is gone from Boston. That would have given the Red Sox much more of a chance at catching the Yankees. The Rays obviously still a threat in the division, but on paper, this is still one of the very best teams in the American League. That said, this staff was built to help this club not only make it to the postseason, but to advance. That's what's been missing lately, and now we're going to go without Severino. The trouble is for GM Brian Cashman, as he admitted yesterday, there's really nothing that he can do about it at this point. There's no market for starters out there right now. Most teams have already settled in on their plans, whatever they may be. Now, all of this may change when the trade deadline comes around. It's hard to guess at the moment just what will be available to the Yankees. They probably won't be the only team chasing starters at that point, though. And, of course, that's going to mean coughing up prospect assets to get a deal done. So none of this ideal. It's a pretty serious situation for the Yanks. Could be worse. But as things go for a club that was expected to run away with the AL East and hopefully challenge for a world championship, this is about as rough as it gets at this time of the year. A couple of other clubs also dealing with injury situations, and they're hoping that they don't turn out the way Severino's did. If you look down in Atlanta, Freddie Freeman dealt with a balky right elbow for much of the second half of the 2019 season. That hindered him pretty severely. So it was not particularly good news to see that he's dealing with inflammation. On the other hand, that's to be expected. Off-season surgery to remove the bone spurs that were giving him fits. So the hope remains that you just let that settle down, he'll be able to get back rolling. But the Braves obviously are reliant on Freeman to be back to that regular, steady, highly productive middle-of-the-order bat. And then J.D. Davis elsewhere in the NL East, the Mets corner infielder and outfielder, he's dealing with some sort of shoulder injury suffered yesterday, waiting for the results of an MRI. Unclear as yet whether it's just one of those spring blips or something to be worried about. Now, one final story that I think is really worth highlighting today, and that is the word of some possible extension talks between the White Sox and star infielder Yoan Moncada. The breakout switch-hitting Cuban star is maybe going to sign a deal. We'll see. Not yet clear how serious those talks are. Remember, and this is important, Moncada signed a $31.5 million deal when he came over from Cuba, landed with the Red Sox before being traded as part of that Chris Sale deal, broke out in 2019. He's already got a lot of money in the bank is the point. Now, he would be arbitration eligible next year. He's controlled through 2023. Given the fact that he's already earned so much, you gotta think the White Sox would have to pony up some big money to get him to stay. At the same time, the club is obviously going to be a little bit wary after one big season in relying too heavily on his future and paying through the roof. This is a club that has already locked into several of its young players for the near future, which is a good thing, potentially. Obviously, these deals also come with some amount of risk, and Moncada has a good amount of bargaining power to work with in these talks. All right, we'll call it quits there. Please be sure to go subscribe and like this video below. Talk to you next time.